week. It will be my last week here for a little while, and Laura DeRocher and I are going to be presenting, so it's going to be a fun service next week. And then we have lined up for you some amazing speakers and wonderful experiences. The next one after that is Kathy Zabata, who you all love, and she's a great leader. Then we have the Diksha people, Larry and Chris are speaking and leading the whole service, so that should be beautiful. And then we have Susanna, who's written the book on the 4 seasons of life, the 4 seasons. It's a new book that she's just come out with, and she's a local author here and comes to Unity here sometimes. She was here last week, so that should be fascinating. And then the week after that is
Jean Houston?
Barry and
oh yes, Barry and Catherine, who are Unity. She's a Unity minister, and he's a great musician, and they have been Unity circuit riders all over the country, and they come here to Unity in Ashland sometimes when they're not traveling. So they're going to be here that following week, and then Asha, yes. So Asha Deliverance, who's a local leader in town, she's the owner of Pacific Domes, and she has studied with the quantum physicist, what is his name? Yeah, Nassim. She's like a right-hand person to Nassim through the years, and so she's infused with all of his teachings on spirituality and quantum physics. So that should be fascinating. And then I'll return and I'll watch it all in video.
No, you won't.
And anytime you miss it, you can watch it at unityashland.com.
Norma, where are you going for so long?
So it's like 5 weeks I'll be gone, and I'm going to visit my mother, who I always go and visit, in the summer on the East Coast. But sandwiched in between my visit to my mother is a great opportunity to go and meet up with Nisha over in France. I'll actually be talking about it a little bit in the course of my talk today, but Nisha is going to the Cannes Film Festival, and she leaves today, this afternoon. And so right after church, I won't be able to stay because I have to hurry back and help her finish packing and get her to the airport. So that's pretty exciting. And then I'll be going to join her there, and it's sort of a graduation from college present for her. We're going to stay with some friends around Europe and travel and visit several different countries, and so it's very, very exciting. Yeah, so thank you for upholding me and Nisha in prayer during that time, and for coming here and supporting the speakers that will be here and enjoying your time together. And I'll see you the last Sunday of June. I'll be back. Okay. And Kathy here at Canopy has a wonderful announcement for us in conclusion today, because being Mother's Day, it's also a day when we think about children, and Kathy helped to found the organization called Kids Spree. She founded it many years ago, and it's done a great service in our community, and she's going to tell you a little bit about it today, because on the board we decided to take some of our offering each week and to gift it throughout the year to different organizations. And so Kids Spree is going to be the one on Mother's Day that we give part of our offering to. So Kathy, tell them a little bit about Kids Spree.
Everybody can hear me? I have a pretty loud voice, so thanks, great. Well, Southern Oregon Kids Spree used to be called Child Spree, and it's over 20 years old. It used to be a Mervyn's project until they left the area, and then JCPenney's got involved in it. And what this is a back-to-school shopping spree for low-income elementary school children all over the Rogue Valley in August. It's the second Saturday in August, and every child gets $100 to shop for back-to-school clothes with, and a volunteer shops with them. Their parents don't shop, a volunteer shops with them. So I'm here today not only to ask for your donations, but see if you want to get involved shopping with the child. It's a very worthwhile experience. It means so much to these children and their parents. And after they shop, they get a backpack loaded with school supplies. They get a breakfast that AAUW puts together. And if you can imagine 250 kids shopping and their parents and volunteers, it's quite an event to pull off. It's huge. And we have to raise the money every year, and volunteers come and go a little bit. So I left some pictures back there, and a donation bowl and some applications if you're interested in shopping. And we'd love to get men involved. We have a lot of boys that don't have dads that want just an experience with a man. And I know men maybe don't like to shop, but if you want to do it with a partner, that's fine with us. If you have a teenager that you'd like to get involved in doing something like this, they can shop with you. You just have to let us know. And I didn't bring a letter from a mom today, but I know how much this means to the children and their mothers. And we do serve Ashland Children, Talent Phoenix. We serve all over the valley. And we try to make sure we're serving the children that are most in need. They come from the Title I schools and from Department of Human Services, and there are about 20 children from Dunhouse that are served. So you can talk to me about it afterwards, you can look at the pictures, and you can decide if you want to volunteer. And Anya's not here, but she helped last year at the thank you table. Kids also write thank you cards, which are very correct. So thank you so much to the church for donating to us.
Well, I entitled the theme for this week, Mother's Day and the Dalai Lama. Some of you see it on the internet announcement? Yes. Because I did get to go see the Dalai Lama. Did you have another announcement?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, before that,
Our
okay.
normal Monday evening prayer circle is held in the back room from 5 to 6 on Monday. And please don't leave here if you have a concern. We have a prayer box, write out a prayer request to be prayed for by our group of prayers tomorrow, and then it will be sent on to Silent Unity, and it'll be prayed on for a month. And we've had some wonderful answers to our prayers, so please keep them coming.
And today's prayer chaplain after the service is Donna. She's available up here to pray with people after the service. Okay, so Donna and Richard are music today, and the first song is in honor of this theme of the Dalai Lama and Mother's Day combined, and that brings us to the thought about peace, and how is peace going to come on the planet. So our first song is Peace Like a River.
Feel free to stand, and the words are really easy to catch on. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like
readings on Mother's Day. These, our wonderful three here are going to just each do a short reading that is in honor of the mothers and fathers, the parents of our New Thought tradition. So some of them are from Science of Mind, but one goes all the way back to an ancient theologian too. So we're just honoring the parents of this New Thought way of conceiving the world. And here's a microphone to read into.
Good morning. Good morning. God loves each of us as if we were only one of us. And that's by St. Augustine.
Read it one more time, because it's short.
God loves each of us as if there were only one of us.
The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. From the Science of Mind.
Read it one more time.
The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. From the Science of Mind.
The great love which I feel for the world is the love of God, and it is felt by all and comes back to me from all. The great love which I now feel for the world is the love of God, and it is felt by all and comes back to me from all. From the Science of Mind.
Those are pretty beautiful thoughts about love. Thank you, our ladies. Thank you so much. And I thank you for being the mothers of unity here locally, for being faithful mothers of unity here. And you see up here we have beautiful flowers. Thank you, Jane, from your garden. Beautiful flowers. And a statue that's very mother-like in its feeling and sentiment. And one candle is lit. The other one not lit yet. And I have this candle lit symbolizing mother. Motherhood, the mother of the universe, the creatrix who is already alive and the flame is already burning, and that so many other fires, us included, are lit from this one flame. And so we light this candle to celebrate all of those women and men, and many of you here who have taken on the task of raising a baby through childhood and youth and on into adulthood. We honor you today. And we celebrate all of you who have nourished the light of truth and compassion and of growing minds and hearts amongst humans. You too have nurtured and grown people up. We thank you for all the mothering that you've done. And we celebrate those of you who've committed your time and your money and your energy to the children of this world and making their lives better. So we light this candle to celebrate and hold dear this flame of love that's in our universe, that's here, that ignites each one of us and changes the world. So it is. And let's just close our eyes for a moment and more deeply sink into this presence that we're invoking through these beautiful words. And when we pray to our loving Creator, who is known to us in many ways, but so often and in so many cultures, you are known to us in the image of Mother. So today, Creator, Great Mother, hold us in your arms on this Mother's Day. Please let everyone who has been gathered here experience in our bodies and in our deepest hearts your love. Because it is your mothering love that has created us and our whole world. And you do love us as if we were your only child. From stars to microbials, you love us, your babies. And today, we also remember our own mothers, and we honor that mothering is the foundation of everything. Mothering is love. All that we value and hold dear is held in the images of motherhood. And so today we're asking motherhood in its ideal form to be our guide. May mothering love fill each of us with gratitude, with wisdom, with great compassion. For indeed, we are all one family, with one great mother of us all. And so it is. Any kids here to bless today? They're already back there? Okay. That's okay.
No, she's right here.
Oh, she's right there?
Ariel?
Bring her to come up front. There have been times when we've had a lot more children here through the years I've been here, and it takes a real nurturing of the mothers for the children to be able to be here. We had a whole slew of young mothers here for a time, and I think we need to really dedicate ourselves to nurturing young mothers again in our congregation so that we can have more children and support the young mothers. Well, Mother's Day, it didn't really start by the Hallmark Company. No, they didn't start Mother's Day. It actually did exist in England for many centuries, starting, they say, in about the 16th century. There was a special day in May when the children would go around and bake these special kind of cookies that looked kind of like gingerbread men, but they were like supposed to be little mother cookies. And they would take them around to all the mothers and the grandmothers and the aunties and thank them for being mothers. But then in the United States, Mother's Day as it is now actually was begun by an inspired mother named Julia Ward Howe. And on other Mother's Days, I've focused the whole day on honoring her and what she did in starting Mother's Day. But she was a mother who lived in one of the towns on the edge of the North and the South in the Civil War. And so in her very town, she saw young men in families divided against one another, even brothers fighting brothers. And she felt deep in her soul that war is not the way to make peace. War is not the way to make peace. And so she proclaimed that this had to stop. And she felt that it should be a national day of mothers leaving all of their work and all of their chores and all of their caretaking of everyone and stepping out into the public eye and saying, there must be an end to war on planet Earth now. And so she proclaimed that in a proclamation that was read in her town, and then it spread through many other cities and towns, and it spread through her daughter all the way to the capital of the United States. And finally, her daughter got Congress to pass the ruling that this Sunday in May would be Mother's Day, based on this proclamation of peace. And so I'm going to have Karen come and read to us Julia Ward Howe's Proclamation of Peace for Mother's Day. It was written, and I don't have the exact date, but I imagine it was 1865 or right around that time, right after the Civil War.
Mother's Day Proclamation. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether our baptism be of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have great decisions decided by irreverent agencies. Our husbands will not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We, the women of one country, will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have often forsaken the plow at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of counsel. Let them meet first as women to bewail and tribute the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other, whereby the great human family can live in peace, and each bearing after her own time the sacred promise, not of Caesar, but of God.
Let's give a big hand to Julia for her talk. Wow. Did you know that's what Mother's Day was all about? Mother's Day and peace. Mother's Day and the Dalai Lama. So on Friday, I had already set that as our theme. And I went to Eugene and was so privileged to be one of the 12,000 people gathered in the big stadium there to be able to see the Dalai Lama and hear him speak. This was his first time to be in the United States in 10 years. And I was also privileged to hear him the last time he was here. I happened to live in Boston at the time, in 2003, and got to go to the stadium there to hear him. He wasn't much older looking than he was 10 years ago. You could tell a little bit that he was a little bit slower, but still vibrant and powerful. And when he walked out on stage, you can imagine what happened. You know, the crowd burst into cheering and laughing and clapping and crying, and I couldn't help but weep. You know, for some reason, this man represents the greatest things that we believe in on planet Earth, you know, of love and peace and oneness of all humanity. So there I was, waiting to hear what the Dalai Lama would speak to this time. And it was amazing because everything that he said was all about motherhood. Motherhood. I don't think he knew that today was Mother's Day. I don't think so. I think he just is feeling the truth that what our planet needs, and he kept saying this, is the rising of mothering love on the planet. And that doesn't mean that it's only in women, of course, because there he is a man who's bringing it forth, and he talked about that, how mothering love can come through all of us. And he talked about that mothers who love their children warmly create trust and love in their children that grow up into adults, and that we must pray for all the mothers who are wounded and hurt and cannot love their children as much as they should or would like to, because it's a natural inclination of mothers to have this kind of love that he said is like the Buddha's love, is like the Christ's love. It's like the greatest love. It's unconditional. It's all forgiving. It sees the best in every single one, and it loves each one as if you were their only child. And so this is what the Dalai Lama stood up and talked about for over an hour, all about mother's love. And he said, the planet will only change and peace will only come when we all love one another with this mothering kind of love. He talked also about realizing that we are all the children of one great mother. And if we only could look through our eyes and see one another as our brothers and sisters, like Julia Ward Howe was saying, with that great tenderness, how could we ever hate or kill anyone else in any other country, in any other land, or any other ethnicity, or people different than us, if we loved with this mothering kind of love? Well, the Dalai Lama didn't know that Mother's Day was coming, but he handed right to all of us who were there the best Mother's Day message that we ever could have heard. And right now I'd love for Donna and Richard to come up, and they have created a really sacred song in honor of the Dalai Lama and Mother's Day.
I've had a fantasy of meeting him one-to-one. So just get into your body, feel your body, and here's what I would say to him. Hello, darling, well, hello, darling, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. Oh, you're looking swell, darling, I can tell. Darling, you're still growing, you're still going strong. I feel the room sway as the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So, golly gee, fellas, it's time for Tibet to be free, fellas. Darling, you'll never go away again. Everybody up! The Richard Williams! Here we go, everybody. Hello, darling, well, hello, darling. It's so nice to have you back where you belong, right in our hearts. You're looking swell, oh yes, you're darling, I can tell, darling. You're still growing, you're still going strong. I feel the world swaying as the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So, golly gee, fellas, time for Tibet to be free, fellas. Darling, you'll never go away. Darling, he's here to stay. Darling, you'll never go away again.
That was so reverent. On Thursday. And the Dalai Lama himself, you were telling me that you can, I think you may still be able to watch it at the University of Oregon website. That they have it there, and you can watch the whole program if you go to the University of Oregon website. So you can tune in, and it's almost like being there, because we're at such a great distance. You know, you'd just be watching on the internet, you feel kind of the same. Well, the Dalai Lama is a boy who had a mother, a really great mother, wouldn't you say, to make a fine lad like him. And so he spoke about his mother, and he honored his mother, and talked about some incidents in his childhood, and ways that she loved him, and shaped who he is, and taught him about peace. And I've asked Roy to come up, and I consider him kind of the father of unity of this rendition of it for the last 10 years, because he's been such a right-hand man to me through it all. And he's going to read a wonderful poem by Wendell Berry. You know, Wendell Berry, the great peace activist and ecologist. And so it's from a man's perspective about being the son of a mother.
Okay, the title of this is To My Mother. I was your rebellious son. Do you remember? Sometimes I wonder if you do remember. So complete has your forgiveness been. So complete has your forgiveness been, I wonder sometimes if it did not precede my wrong, and I erred, safe found within your love, prepared ahead of me the way home or my bed at night, so that almost I should forgive you, who perhaps foresaw the worst that I might do, and forgave before I could act, causing me to smile now, looking back, to see how paltry was my worst compared to your forgiveness of it already given. And this then is the vision of that heaven of which we have heard, where those who love each other have forgiven each other, where, for that, the leaves are green, the light of music in the air, and all is unentangled, and all is undismayed. I'll finish the end. All is unentangled, and all is undismayed.
Wouldn't that be the definition of peace? And that's what mothering love does. I love that poem because it talks about how mothers forgive even before it happens almost. That there's a love that is changing things before they even go wrong. Thank you for that beautiful reading of it, Roy. And Donna has written a lullaby. It's a lullaby to your mother, right? You want to say something about it, Donna?
I lost my mother when I was 12, and she was the mother of all mothers. So anybody who knows me and knows how loving I am, just think how many years it's been since she's been gone, and that's how much love she had. So I attribute who I am in the most loving way to my mother, Flora. Definitely gone too soon, but a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And luckily I get to see my 91-year-old dad next week, so I'm very blessed. So I wrote this song, and what I'd like you to drop down into is, no matter what your mother's story, just feel that part of yourself that knows the true essence of what a mother's love feels like, and how you feel when your mother either has a male or a female, and we'll go from there. There's nothing sweeter than your mother singing you a lazy lullaby. The stars have come to meet her. There's that twinkle in her eye. Hush, my sweet angel, the world is all asleep. Hush, my darling wonder, those precious dreams are yours to keep. Rock-a-bye your troubles and your worries tonight. Sweet dreams will carry you into the morning light. Mother's here to tell you, to soothe your fevered brow. And Mother's here to tell you, no harm can come to you now. I want to hear a lazy lullaby, just a sweet lazy lullaby, whispered softly in my ear, saying there's nothing to fear, and that Mother's always here to love you. I want to hear a lazy lullaby, just a sweet lazy lullaby, whispered sweetly in my ear, saying there's nothing to fear, and that Mother's always here to love you. I want to hear a lazy lullaby, just a sweet lazy lullaby, whispered softly in my ear. Love you, Mommy. Saying there's nothing to fear, and that Mother's always here to love you.
So part of Mother's Day is honoring our mothers, and of course each one of us has one. That's how we're here. And so first and foremost, for me, on Mother's Day, I have to honor my mother. My mother was a great mother. She birthed me when she was just 19, and then she had 2 other children close after that. And even though she was young and she had wanted to go to nursing school, she turned and she put her whole energy and effort into her mothering. And you know how it was in the 50s. She made us breakfast, she packed our lunch buckets for us with homemade bread and homemade food, and then she had a beautiful dinner all prepared for us when we got home. And she not only cooked for our little family, but we owned a grocery store, and she cooked for all the employees in the grocery store and did all the gardening and everything too. And she ironed a lot. Remember how everything had to be ironed, like the hankies and the sheets and the pillowcases and everything had to be ironed, and there was no permanent press in those days. And we tease her and we tell her that she had her PhD in Jell-O. She doesn't mind being teased. She was a great mom, and she did everything I wanted her to do. Like I wanted a brownie troop in my own town, so she started the brownie troop. And she teases me about it because long after I was growing up, 20 years later, she was still being the Brownie Girl Scout leader. I couldn't get out of it so easily. And she was the PTA president, not once, but how many kids are there? Three times. She was the PTA president. And she was just there for us in every way. And as I grew up and sailed off, she loved me gracefully then too, because I haven't lived at home since I was 27. I've been coming and going and traveling the whole world and going into worlds that she couldn't even imagine. And she has loved me with a magnificent, open-hearted, supportive, eternal love. Anything good that I am is surely because of my mother and my dad. And then there's my beloved daughter. I got to do mothering, which has been the most magnificent experience of my lifetime. Nisha is my raison d'etre, as you know. And amongst all the wonderful different adventures I've had in my life, I must say mothering is the deepest and most challenging and greatest adventure of my whole life. Nisha gives me so much joy, and I'm so proud of her. And she went through her teenage years here, and you all mothered me through mothering her through her teenage years and held me as I went through challenges about that. And she, as kids can do, turned around in short order and has praised me and thanked me. And that's the greatest thing that a mother can wish for, is to have their child then understand and see what the mother did and appreciate it. And so today's a big day because she's graduating from college. I just packed her up through this week and brought her stuff back, and she's taking off today on her own to go to Europe, as I was saying earlier. And I'm having to do what mothers have to do, which is trust in the roots that I've given her and let her fly with those wings that I so wanted her to have. And so you'll be with me in prayer about that. Thank you so much for supporting me and Nisha all the way through these 10 years you've known me and her. You've supported us in so many ways. I'll never forget the big graduation from high school party that we had. You've mothered me as I've mothered her. So if ever there was a Mother's Day that I felt deeply in my heart. Today is that day when so many things are culminating. So thank you for all the mothering that you've done as a group of wonderful people for me and for Nisha. And I want you to think about, all of the wonderful things about mothering. And we're going to be doing a little ritual about that in a few moments. And at the same time, I want to change gears here a little bit too, and I want to be with the complexity and the challenges of motherhood, as well as the simplicity of it that the Dalai Lama was talking to us about, the utter simplicity of the truth that mothering love will change the world. There's also the complexity of being human mothers and of being a mother on this planet. I remember when I was pregnant with Nisha, I thought to her and to my belly, do you really want to come here? And maybe some of you thought that as mothers too, or maybe some of you thought that when you were inside. Do I really want to come here? But we have a mission here. We have a mission here, and it is to bring forth love and more love. But Peggy Rubin, she's a wonderful mother in our area here. Do you know who Peggy Rubin is?
Yeah.
She's a poet and a writer, and she's a right-hand person to Jean Houston. So she and Jean have birthed many mystery schools and been the birthers of women's mystery rites. And Peggy Rubin wrote this next poem that I'm going to have Omanasa and Patty come and read. So it's called Here's to the Dark Mother. Here's to the Dark Mother by Peggy Rubin.
I am the voice in the whirlwind, in the place others call and experience as chaos. I am above, below, within the chaos. I am the darkness, and I am the one to seek where you need to source yourself in joy, in peace, in turbulence. But beyond, way beyond the normal experience of darkness. I invite you into the darkness, beyond and before and after time. This is your source, your origin. If things fall apart, come into my all-holding embrace. I am the energy that shapes and holds universes together.
Can I do any less for you? There is pressure in my holding and immeasurable power. So after a time of rest, you may begin to feel the pressure of new birth, persistence, insistence. I who shape galaxies do not hesitate to shape you, fiercely perhaps, but truly to your most elegant and beautiful design. Your design, like the galaxy, is glorious to behold, and in my vast darkness, I hold that pattern and desire you to recognize it and to become it. You will not fly apart, though it may feel like that. I am holding you, and I am holding your becoming.
So in the feeling of that, and the spirit of that dark mother of the universe, holding our becoming, holding the becoming of planet Earth, the love that is holding us, Donna and Richard are going to lead us in an improvisational song meditation. And we welcome you to join in with it, with your bodies. At some point, if you feel like moving, standing, singing, let it be a prayer where you, the child of the universe, are getting in touch with the love that holds us even in our darker moments, and in our chaos. The mother holding us.
I am the dark mother out of the womb
taking down the essence from the sky. We are here to birth a new day. We are here to gather the medicine for our babe. We are here to hold you in the dark. We are here to sing like a we are the dark mother rising from the womb. We take our medicine from the sky and from the tomb. There is light essence, there is dark essence, and we hold you both so dear. We are the new moment, we're the new energy that's clear. That's clear. We are the dark mother, and we hold you.
It's beautiful, Donna. And if anybody knows about the Dark Mother, it's the Dalai Lama. There was a beautiful movie that was made that was shown up on the big screen in the stadium on Friday. And it was a movie about what went on in Tibet and the terrible things that happened to especially the monks and nuns of the Buddhist lineage as the great nation of China moved upon the country for its resources. You know, there's a lot of mineral resources there. And so in 1959, China moved in and took over, just like people came here a few centuries ago, and there were many resources here in North and South America, and some moved in against others and destroyed their culture and their land. So the Dalai Lama knows about the Dark Mother. And he knows that it doesn't do any good to hate. It doesn't do any good to focus on hatred. He, like those Tibetan nuns and monks, were steeped in the Buddhist view and philosophy that no matter what happens, you perceive, he said, through the eyes of reality. Don't perceive unreality. If someone is hurting you, perceive that they're a wounded being who needs love. Don't perceive through the eyes of hatred. Perceive only through the eyes of love, because that's the only way that we can see what is real. Isn't that magnificent? Powerful. Last year I saw a Mother's Day card that expressed this kind of thing perfectly, about how much pressure we can be under on planet Earth and how much difficulty there can be here sometimes. And it was a Mother's Day card that showed a woman like in the 1960s, and she was like the perfect mother. She was smiling brightly, and you couldn't help notice a little strained intensity in her eyes, but looking closer, you saw that she had the strawberries on her apron, and they matched the wallpaper, and even the salt and pepper shakers had strawberries on them. And the whole image screamed of the perfect homemaker. But then the caption of it at the bottom of the card read, "She knew just what it took to be a mother." And then you open the card and it says, "Therapy." Happy Mother's Day. So there's no denying the responsibility and the heavy-duty task that it is to be a mother, you know, and that we kids need a lot of therapy, and the mothers need a lot of therapy. And even if it's changing as time goes on, mothers still struggle to find that right balance between the unconditional love that children need and then setting boundaries and having discipline and giving children lessons. But despite the pressure, again and again, mothers take this ultimate dare and bring children into this world and share with them all that they have to offer, the tremendous self-giving love mixed with their own wounds and fears. The good and the bad of it all make up this grand love offering we call being a mother. But before we proceed any further into the good parts of it again, I just have to pause to respect and honor the particularities of our own life experiences with mothers and mothering. Because some of you greet this day, it's true, with great joy, as a time to honor your own mother and grandmother, who may be sitting right next to you here today, if you're really blessed, or she may be no farther away than a phone call or Skype. But then there's others of us who lost our mother long ago, and the grief has been transformed into a quiet joy of memories that warm our aging hearts. But if your relationship with your mother was not loving, if it was fraught with abuse or neglect, if she abandoned you as a child, or if you feel your mother failed you miserably, Mother's Day can strike you as a painful charade. Or if you lost your mother at an early age, or if you're still actively grieving your beloved mother's recent death, Mother's Day can be a little ache in your heart. So some of us encounter this day in a bittersweet kind of way. Some of us know that little or even nothing of our birth mother, having grown up with in another's care, and we honor the adoptive mothers today. And for those of you who are mothers yourselves, it depends on how you're feeling about your children right now, how you might feel about Mother's Day. The feelings and associations evoked by the word mother are not the same for everyone on Mother's Day. So I just wanted us as a community of loving people to honor that. And whoever you talk to today, to have a special sensitivity for the fact that it might not be just a joyful occasion for everybody, that there might be other feelings and emotions that are brought up. So I say, go ahead, bring out the flowers, send the cards, and eat the candy. But we've got to acknowledge that Mother's Day is a mixed blessing. It's a mixed blessing because of what I just talked about, our various life experiences. But it's a mixed blessing on this whole planet because it's complex, what we're called here to do. It's complex to try to give a Mother's Day sermon even, to come up with the right balance. One minister that I heard about said that if a minister thinks that he or she can deliver the perfect Mother's Day sermon, they probably haven't taken their medication lately. I don't take any medication, and I don't think I have the perfect Mother's Day sermon. But I'm just trying to find a common ground here, a common ground for us all. And I think maybe my teacher, Goenkaji, who taught me Vipassana meditation, which is a form of Buddhist meditation, that he might have struck the common ground when he said that every single one of us, no matter what our mothers or fathers were like, needs to be so grateful that we were given this precious human life. In Buddhism, they believe that we might go through many incarnations as other types of beings before we have this one precious human life. So what do you think about that as our common ground? It's a place where we all meet, where we can be thankful today that we have this opportunity to be in these bodies, to feel everything that we feel for as long as we can, and to bring it all the way through to love, which is what we're here to do, to do the work, to do the therapy, to do the deep dive into the darkness, into the dark mother, and to go all the way down there and to find that in the deepest places of our experience we're held. Have you experienced that, some of you, getting hurt, being wounded in some way and sinking down, and finding there, deep down where you never thought you would find anything, something beyond the void, is love. And a sense of being held and met. And that's what I want to remember today and honor, that that mothering love is there in this universe. And that no matter what happens to us or to anyone, that we can all feel it. And we can all guide one another towards it. One of my teachers in seminary, Ellen Bass, she was a wonderful seminary professor, and she told us that she had really mixed feelings around Mother's Day, and so she decided to write a poem, and I think that's what we could do too. You know, we could take all our mixed feelings and try to write a poem about Mother's Day, and like Donna wrote that beautiful lullaby song. And this is the poem that Ellen Bass wrote, and she entitled it "For My Husband's Mother." Because it was her mother-in-law, right? So she wrote a poem about Mother's Day about her mother-in-law. But you know what? It wasn't even the mother who had given birth to her husband, because her husband had been given up by his birth mother and was adopted. So she's writing the poem not really to her mother-in-law, but to the mother that she never knew of her husband. And she says this, she says, "During those months that I carried our daughter, I'd think of your mother, the woman who carried you, though she could not keep you. This woman that we do not know, this little girl whose life was changed in ways we'll never know, who wanted or did not want, who loved or did not love, who chose or did not choose, but still willing or reluctant. She carried you easily, like the grass that sprouts the pasture green after first fall rains, or in great pain, volcanic, slow, the creaking, cracking of the earth. She birthed you. We do not know her name or what she thought as her fingers soaped her taut belly in the bathtub. We do not know if she could keep food down, if her legs cramped, if she grew dizzy in the grocery store. We don't know what her friends and family thought. We only know there was a woman who gave you the food of her blood, the bed of her flesh, who breathed for you. We do not know if anyone ever thanked her." And I just happened to be counseling a wonderful woman who was a woman who gave up her child at birth. And she's going through a lot as she's come back in touch with her birth child after all these years. So there's a lot of wonderments that happen in birthing. But what we can do is we can meet Mother's Day with this gratitude that we're born, and with a simple gift of thanks to all the mothers in any shape or form who did what they did, and those of us who've done what we've done as best we could to bring forth life. For whether we are golden and buoyed up or bruised and battered, here we stand. And that is something, is it not? Mothers bear love's pressure on the walls of their hearts. Mothers bear love's pressure on the walls of their hearts. Our mothers rocked us at their rhythmic breasts, but now we have become those breasts. Even if we're men or women, we are those ones who are suckling the world right now. Because there's a big mothering to do on planet Earth right now. There's a big mothering to do. Like that Wendell Berry poem said, mothering is something that is a pretty magical elixir for whatever is going on the planet right now. It heals before the wrongs even happen. It sees the events through the eyes of unconditional love. So there's something so deep about what the Dalai Lama was sharing with us, that if we can come into contact with this mothering love, on this Mother's Day. It is the hope of the world. Mothering is at its best the creation of an expansive circle of love that meets others where they are and then provides the space which allows them to grow into their fullness. Isn't that a great definition? Mothering is at its best the creation of an expansive circle of love that meets others where they are. You hear that? I love that. An expansive circle of love that meets others where they are and then provides the space, the womb space or whatever, the church space, the home space, the school space, the work space, provides the space which allows them to grow into their fullness. Isn't that beautiful? So we can all be part of this mothering kind of love that the Dalai Lama was urging us to feel and to live. Love that creates the desire in us to give something back for what's been given to us, the very gift of life itself. So love is our common ground on this Mother's Day today and all days. So it is. I'd like Donna to come back up, and the musician, and picture down. You have a piece of paper on your chair there. And on the front of that, there's two sides to that piece of paper, and I hope that you have some pens in your purses or your pockets. Because as we sing our next song, I invite you to take this piece of paper and to, on one side of it, to do an honoring of someone who you've received mothering from. And so, like you've been hearing me say, it could be your own mother that you're so grateful to today, or it could be someone else who you've gotten mothering from. A teacher, a friend, an aunt, uncle, a grandparent, someone who's given you mothering. And so on this piece of paper, I want you to write, "Dear Mother," or "Mothering One," and then their name. I honor you today because you what? I honor you today because you did what? So dear Mother, or whomever you want to honor in this mothering way, I honor you today because you what? And only you are going to see this, so you can write whatever you want. And then on the other side of the paper, I want you to honor the mothering that you have given. Some of us, whether we're women or men, have never birthed a child. Some of us have never once been pregnant, even if we might have longed to be, but some have miscarried. It doesn't matter on this Mother's Day because we're being called back to the front of the brain memories of long ago, where humans lived in peace on planet Earth, where mothering was a way of life. It filled the economy, it filled the gardening, it filled the exchange of resources. Mothering filled this whole planet at one time, not too long ago. Mothering love filled the whole planet, and we can all remember it. It's in all of us, and it needs to rise again, don't you think? It needs to rise again on planet Earth. And so right now on this other side of the paper, I want you to write, "Dear, your name." So I would say, "Dear Norma, I honor you today because you have given mothering in such and such a way. Because you give mothering in such and such a way." So it's about honoring yourself as a mothering, loving being and how you give love on this planet Earth, because each one of you are here to You give it in your own unique way. Yes, it might be to your children, but you might even expand beyond that and think about the ways that you give mothering love on this planet, the ways that you're called. So dear so-and-so, dear Norma, I honor you today because you have given mothering love in this way. How you were mothered and how you've been mothering. And now, there won't be time for everyone to do this, but I'd love it if some of you would stand up and share one side or the other of your paper. Because it's good to hear each other. It's good to hear. Thank you, George.
Dear Mother, Mary Ange, I honor you today for giving me life and stepping aside to give me the opportunity to become whom I have become. On the other side, dear George, I honor you today because you give mothering to your children and grandchildren. You give mothering to this planet, this universe, all universes, and all dimensions of this universe. To know we are one.
Oh, thank you, George. Denise.
I wrote my first one to my daughter Elsa because she's the first person who ever showed me unconditional love. When she was 2, she made up this little nighttime prayer that said, I love you, I like you, and I care. I had a very difficult family and didn't know how to support my inner being, so she was the first one who gave. I so appreciate her. And she's right now, they're holding a child. She's got lupus, and so I want all the blessings to go that that child is nurtured to full term so that we have another lifetime with a wonderful mother like she is.
Oh, thank you. Arlene.
Dear Boba, my grandmother, I honor you today because you gave me so much love that has sustained me.
Oh, Ken.
Dear Mother, I honor you today because you have helped me in every way you could beyond measure. You have no idea what it takes to have a handicapped child. And my mother had too.
Great honor.
Picture. I just remembered I had it in my purse because I was going to make a copy of it. And my mother died when she was 61, and I'm now 63. Wow. I honor you today because you gave me life in the lovely Francis family on the farm of your fathers to give me a foundation of love and adventure. And so it was that sense of being in nature that was the most important key.
Thank you, Christine.
My mother had 4 sons and were spaced exactly 1.5 years apart. And I'm still together with my brothers many years later. It's a loving gift. I'm proud of my brother.
Beautiful. Wonderful mother that had brothers all be close after all those years.
My mom's here.
Oh, Sharon, stop.
And I said, Dear Mother, I honor you today because you have loved me and held me so deeply for forever. And dear Shanti, who is me, I honor you today because you are the best mother that you can possibly be, even in your flaws. And your daughter is your universe. My universe.
Oh, it's beautiful. You get to be together. It's so great.
beloved Mother Hilda, I honor you today for all you have given unconditionally. Mother Hauke was my chosen mother. For all you shared with me, forever thank you. Mother Grete, who was my stepmother, for all you have given, conditionally, but still given. And that's what I realized, even conditionally, there was, without that I couldn't stay alive. And for the silent one, that I don't even remember her name, that looked to me with such love, that I just know she was a divine mother, because she overshadows, not remembering her name, not remembering a word she said. She was there. That presence is with me, and she was so with me when you talk that it's like, my goodness, it surprises me again and again. What presence.
The presence of the mother. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful sharings. One more.
My dear grandmother, I honor you today, for you were and are the mother of my heart. Thank you for making sure I was always looked after and protected. Thank you for holding the wisdom of our family until I could accept it from you. I love you, Grandma.
Beautiful. Let's all take these pieces of paper in our hands right now, like in a prayer fashion. Hold them between our hands. And with our eyes closed and our hands close to our hearts. We know that we have done a ritual here this morning. It's a rite of passage. We've looked back on our lives and paid attention to the mothering in them. The mothering that we've received and the mothering that we have given. And in so doing, we cast our lot with the human family, past, present, and future. We join our spirits and our hearts with mothering love of all times and all places. And we honor the roots that our mothers have given us and the wings with which we fly to bless our world with peace. We are the ones that our mothers were waiting for. Bless you. Bless you for being in this precious human life and all that you have done and are here to do. Aho. Amen. Bless you. Just very thankful that our prayer that we said in the very beginning is answered. We have deeply felt and received the presence of this love that's there so constantly with us in this universe. It's so wonderful to come here together and to be able to be in this space together and to feel the presence of the divine. And so this organism here that we call unity is something that we're thankful for, and it goes through its ups and downs and changes, and it needs its therapy in moments too, and all of that. And it needs your feeding, you know. So on Sunday, when you give your money, the green stuff to it, it's a way of feeding the mother source of energy here, and it's greatly appreciated, and it enables us to keep going and doing what we do. So thank you so much for your offering right now. And we ask our offering takers to come around and